You want it live?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Warren County's Public Safety Committee meeting, August 23rd. We have two businesses to conduct today. We'll start with the Office of Emergency Services. We do have a quorum. I'd like to, Anne Marie is up at the microphone. So I would like to ask for approval of the committee's meetings. Last meeting that we conducted. Is there a motion to approve? Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to the action agenda. Anne Marie.
Okay, so today we have 5 requests on the action agenda. The first one is a resolution request for a new contract with Grounded on Glen Street to provide once monthly offerings of stress management for first responders. The classes would be capped at 10 students and are open to first responders who work in Warren County. And the county would be billed a rate of $150 per class, not to exceed 2 classes per month.
Is there a motion to bring that resolution to the floor?
So moved.
Motion made by Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion?
Yeah, how long have these been going on?
They have not. This would be a new program.
Is this, are we budgeted for this?
We currently are budgeted for the end of this year. We have enough at the end of this year to cover it, but we did request it for the budget for next year.
All right, thank you. I mean, I can imagine some of the stress level and some of the things that our responders see. So I think it's a great program. I just never heard of it before.
Yep,
So
yep.
thank you.
Welcome.
Question?
Yes, go ahead, Supervisor
Thank you.
Shepler.
So this request is for this year?
Yep, it would just be for, rounding out the rest of this year, and then the new contract would start January 1 through 12/31.
Are you also doing a separate request for next year for 2022?
We would do a separate request. This one in here indicates that that contract would terminate, and then there would be 2 annual extensions after that.
All right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 2.
Item 2, resolution request for a new contract with Emergency Vehicle Upfitters to provide vehicle equipment installation at a rate of $90 per hour, not to exceed $5,000 per year.
There's a motion to bring that to the floor.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. And is there a question by Supervisor Garrity, please?
Yeah, what does this pertain to?
This pertains to outfitting any new vehicles with lights and things of that nature that they would need. So right now we do have a vehicle for our emergency services coordinator that needs to have lights fitted to it, and that's what this gentleman has done for us in the past.
So we pay for the installation for the coordinator?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Supervisor McGowan.
Don't we have someone over in the sheriff's department that can help us out?
It's possible. I'm not totally aware of that having been done in the past, but it could be something we can look into, yes.
No, at least in the future. I mean, we can ask, Joe, in a shared service, keep it in the county. I mean, just a thought.
Yep.
I'm not stopping the momentum for the lights now. But
Right. Nope, it's definitely something we can look at.
thank you.
Any other questions? Motion to approve. Excuse me, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right. Our
Next item.
next item is a resolution request for a new contract with Capital Digitronics to provide equipment repair and maintenance on various OES radios and pagers at a rate of $100 per hour, plus parts in an amount not to exceed $5,000 per year.
Motion to bring this resolution to the floor. Made by Supervisor Shepler and seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
All right, the fourth item is a resolution request for the transfer of funds from fire prevention and control to civil defense in the amount of $83,630.
Motion to bring that to the floor.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Frazier and seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion? Supervisor Garden.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
All right. Most of this funds that we are requesting to be moved from fire prevention and control, we're requesting moving it into civil defense. This was basically, a lot of it was Brian's salary and fringe. It was still listed under the fire prevention control budget.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The fifth request is a resolution request to transfer funds within the civil defense code to the amount of, in the amount of $10,000. This is to cover deficits in the 2021 budget.
Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the floor? Motion put forward by Supervisor Shepler, seconded by Supervisor McGowan. Any discussion?
I've heard deficit. I don't like that.
Of course, nobody likes that word. Yeah.
Makes me cringe.
Yep. Nope, this was basically for hospitalization and retirement increases.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now, next item is up for discussion.
Okay, so the first discussion item is on Wednesday, July 28th, Ashley, who is our Emergency Services Coordinator, and myself attended the New York State Public Safety Unmanned Aircraft Systems Summit. At the summit, it was at the State Preparedness Training Center in Oriskany. They gave us some updates on FAA, updates on a vendor called New Air. And this will also, give us the ability to look into furthering and creating a drone program within our department for the county.
Any questions for Anne Marie on this issue? Okay, we can move on with an additional discussion items.
Okay, the next discussion item is regarding creating what's called a CERT within Warren County. A CERT is a community emergency response team. The community emergency response team could be, would help the county out in situations where there could be a major disaster and there could be additional time taken by professional first responders to get out there and help people within the community. And this gives citizens the ability to be able to provide some sort of safety for current citizens of the county.
Any questions for Anne Marie? Okay, we'll go on with the next topic.
Okay, the next discussion is regarding our current local law. So there were some things that needed to be changed in it to get it in line. One of the, I don't know if you see it in your packet there, the proposed revision. And what it is doing is item number 3 would be amended to allow the director to appoint all department employees without the need for board approval. And the other item was retracting information that said the fire coordinator had direct oversight of the cause and origin team. The county does not have its own cause and origin team. That is requested to be taken out.
And the cause and origin team is through
Glens Falls, we contract
the city
with
of Glens Falls?
Yes.
We put this on the agenda today just for discussion purposes. We wanted to get input from the committee before we move this to a vote in the next month. We've had these discussions with the county attorney, and he felt, and I'm not going to speak for him, but it kind of made sense of making these changes, these amendments to the local law, because of the way we structured the job now. And the fire coordinator works directly underneath the OES director. So that's the kind of the reason for that. Is there any discussion or any questions they have before we put this on next month's agenda for an amendment? Okay, thank you. Anything referrals and pending?
I do not have anything else.
Anything that you want to comment on yesterday's storm?
Well, I'm very glad it was a
Okay.
quiet night for us in Warren County, so we had our fingers crossed that that was going to be the case, which it was. Exactly, knock on wood has been the sentiment today. But even with that, we are still always moving in that preparedness mode. We're checking the river gauges every hour, checking the forecasts every hour, and sharing that with all of our fire departments and emergency services squads as well. So it's, while we did, kind of weather the storm, so to speak, all of those behind the scenes things still take place. So that way, if something does happen, we are ready to respond.
Right. Any questions for Anne Marie? Supervisor McGowan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anne Marie, can you just give us a little update on the meeting that we had at the Bay Ridge Fire Company on Balloon Festival, how it's coming together, and the large team that was there of EMS and sheriffs and with the plan. You really orchestrated a really awesome meeting, and it seemed very calm, and it's a lot of stress coming up on that weekend for both shows, but just a little small update would be great.
Yep. So basically, we've been working with the Balloon Festival organizer and helping him with his public gathering permit, making sure that everything is filled out correctly on that, and making sure that we hit every requirement that is hit. We have also created a plan with the fire departments and with EMS to make sure that we are covering the Balloon Festival as well as maintaining coverage for the county outside of that. So it was kind of a big happening that's going to be here that weekend in September. So I think we're ready for it. We've created an incident action plan that's also being filed with the state as well. So hopefully that goes off without a hitch as well.
Just to follow up,
Sure.
too, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I also mentioned up to maybe reaching out to Washington County sheriffs for any extra help, being the festival right on the line, and they also benefit from this festival too. You kind of mentioned that you knew some people over there.
Well, I do have some people I've worked with in the past over there, but what I'm going to do is actually work with Jim in Warren County and kind of let him know who some of my contacts are there and have him take the lead on that.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for that. Like I said, it was really an informative meeting, quick, sweet, and you did a good job coordinating it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Anne Marie? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, to my supervisors here and anybody that's watching, I just got a note that the sheriff has been held up. I mean, I shouldn't say it that way.
Yeah.
He's been delayed. And he's supposed to be on his way. I apologize for this and the fact of the matter that the agendas aren't prepared at this point in time. I'll assure you that this won't happen again. I know everybody's schedules are busy. This is certainly not acceptable to me to have this type of conduct happen. So I apologize again. Thank you.
Chairman, do we have the agenda, his materials online?
We may.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yes?
I don't have it.
Well, Tammy can get it to us really quick.
Well, it's the department's responsibility to undertake these initiatives. I guess we can, if Tammy wants to print a bunch of agendas out with the documentation, she's certainly welcome. Or the other option is just to
View them online.
adjourn and deal with it next month. Supervisor Hogan.
I have a quick question. It's resource officers. Can I wait?
Sure.
Okay. They don't need to be in place before the school year starts?
I think they do know it, you're right.
I'm not part of the committee, I was just asking.
Well, we have until
I'm looking.
10:25. How close is he?
Yeah, I was gonna
I don't know.
find out.
Would you like me to call him?
I'll go.
Well, I got a note that he's on his way.
I'll go.
I'll see how.
Oh, no, it's not him, it's only Moy. Sorry. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
You got a copy?
You out of the woods?
Out of the woods.
You out of the woods?
I am. Wish I was still there.
Get up.
Hey, how far out are you?
What big storm?
Okay, you got agendas?
3 days of solid
Okay,
rain.
great,
We're up there.
thanks. Bye.
3 days of solid rain. Camping.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah,
he's walking in right now.
okay, great.
That's good.
We only have one day out.
Huh? I put it off. I got nervous.
So you refreshed now?
Yeah, he took his grandkids.
Oh.
He's exhausted.
Bet he is.
They're good, boys. Free and sure.
Wow, oh my gosh. That keeps you running, John, especially boogie boarding. Did you do any surf fishing?
We had 2 8-year-old girls and 1 11-year-old boy who was up pistol with his alcohol car. Oh my God.
Oh, they're all in.
It's just like, what are you guys doing to bed? It's just, sit back and relax. The energy level is insane.
The point I'm trying to make is when public was running in Orange County. I don't know.
Signed up, I think I signed up for American Day.
Some they didn't want to support it. Spring and core on it.
Just wanted to try it out. You ever done it?
No. I mean, I drive up through it and that, and, I wanted, I always thought about doing it. I usually hit Laconia with my brother, but I should support, locally.
I thought I would get it before you.
But I'm not really big on riding.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of groups,
People want me,
It's,
I would go.
We only have 9 components.
If you're gonna ride,
right. Well, usually you learn to ride with people,
Just getting going.
Maybe we'll get a retiree.
and some people.
Me too, I'm on the committee.
Like me, Put off
Is this the
to
sheriff?
side,
You know?
on the-
Cammy, oh, he's gonna run some more, because I'm on the committee, thank you.
But no,
Look what actually this is right now.
I'll take a ride up through and this and that, but I always.
You're on the committee.
All
I forgot I did that.
Yeah, I'll be.
Here, I'll put it right in the between.
Oh, no, you're right. Absolutely.
All right,
I
thank you.
agree.
He's got a Harley, I think he's, I think he's got a, road bike. Or a street bike. I think that's what he said.
I got the corporate,
Right.
so he got like a full.
Probably need a truck
I think a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
Don't
keep,
quote.
keep my foot. Mine's a little bit of bump.
Here we are.
Right? Yeah, so you didn't
Tell
bring
us
it
how
to
to,
him.
the presses feel it.
But I thought, boy, it'd be nice.
Okay, I got 1 through 6.
Go along one
Okay.
edge, see those guys.
We're gonna do all 6 of these. Perfect. Okay?
Yeah, just put it all right along the,
Beautiful
yep. The different smells, that's what's amazing, is the smell.
Yeah, I'd like
And
to.
then the road kills.
Tomorrow.
No, the road.
I'll talk to you, Canada.
Coming back, I saw 2 little baby bears along 89, the back,
Yep.
trying to get up to like,
What we're going,
2 little cub bears. One outside of Concord, and
but mommy must have been close. The car slowed down. Probably in the blueberry patch. The buttercups.
I don't think they have any fencing on it.
Right. Well, traveled road.
Ben,
What I like about it, change the pace. You know, you do 101 to 90 street, 89, and you do 4, really 4,
Yep. No, it's actually,
4 hours.
what are we?
no matter what, we were just out there at the beginning of the season, we went, we chartered a fishing boat in Hampton.
Yeah.
You know, $1,000, 5 of us.
Everybody has big agendas.
And we just tipped $250, so $450 for,
Yeah, that's not bad.
and we went out, we were on the boat
They've
at
gotten
4:05
4
in the
different
morning, got
agendas
off the boat at,
that new one.
6:15 that night.
I don't-
Yeah, the captain was awesome.
Are you ready?
You know,
I can. I was hoping to have
we
some
weren't so
backup
hungry,
documents for
we were
something
actually
like that.
catching tuna, we would have stayed out.
They can have
Follow
mine.
along.
They can
Yeah,
have
I'm
mine.
kind of
Tried to
curious,
do tuna.
but you're
Only
close,
marked one big
yeah.
fish, but then this whale came up.
Who
I
won?
would like to just
You know,
hear
I
how
mean,
that
it
goes
looked like
down.
our big boat looked like a little dinghy.
Mike and John probably.
It's scary. He was only like 75 yards off the boat. It was amazing. The funnest was catching the bait. Put down a
Craig, are you okay?
sinker, and then this leader with like 6 hooks on it, you drop it down there 140 to 180 feet. Goes du-du-du-du-du. By the time you reel it up,
No,
you'll
but
have
still,
6
you're
big
here.
Oh, I know,
fish on it.
it's,
You know, pollock or mackerel, save the mackerel, I don't know how many pollock.
yeah. Uh-huh.
We chummed some of them up, you know,
Commitment.
you put it out, but it's really amazing, it's just like when you tuna.
Exactly.
You chum.
I'll grab 'em. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question. Members of this committee already have some backup documents. Tammy is printing some more out for those that would like them. Otherwise, I could just get started. It's up to some of my colleagues on the board. Mike, John, I don't know if you've got the backup documents, but certainly I can wait if you would prefer to have the packet with you. Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome to the Sheriff's Public Safety Meeting. We have on August 23rd. Is there a motion to approve the prior committee meeting? Motion.
You don't have to do that because you did it already with the Office of Emergency Services.
Oh, okay, I thought they were separate minutes.
Nope.
All right, thank you. We'll move on with the action agenda. I'm going to group 1 through 7, 1 through 6 as one resolution. A resolution to enter an agreement with Bolton's Central School District, Hadley Luzerne School District, Johnsburg School District, Lake George School District, North Warren School District, and Queensbury School District for resource officers' services. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor? Supervisor McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Shepherd. Any discussion around those issues? Supervisor Bramer.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Sheriff, thanks for providing all the contracts in the packet. I haven't had a chance to go through each and every one. Are there any differences, any substantial differences between them other than the price for the ones that have more than one officer?
No, everything really stays consistent with years past. The only difference is Queensbury Central School, Queensbury Union Free School District. We had a couple of part-time officers in there years past. They come and they go. Last year, we had a vacancy, and we filled it with a full-time officer. As I've shared with this group in the past, the key to our school resource officer program is to have a good connection between the students, the faculty, the staff, and the members who are in their school. They love Officer George Carpenter. They want to keep him, and they're willing to retain him and pay him his full-time salary, as well as fringe, to be their school resource officer for all 4 of their facilities, all 4 buildings.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions?
That's great.
All in favor to approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move right on to request number 7.
Yes. We are, our contract with Prime Care Medical for correctional medical care services expires at the end of this year. We have had meetings with the 3 big vendors for correctional medical services. Prime Care, CFG Medical Services, and CBH Medical. CFG has presented proposals in the past, but we've never contracted with them. CBH, we have. They were Correctional Medical at one time, Qualis. All three came back relatively close. Prime Care, they held their rate for this year for 2022, and they provide the highest numbers of hours per week in full-time equivalent of the three. They came in a little higher than CBH Medical, not much higher, but CBH is not providing in their matrix as much service. For the first 2 years that they provided the service in our sheriff's office, we've had no issues with our inmates. They are an accredited medical provider, and we have a really good nurse manager, a healthcare administrator at this point, and things are going very well. We would like to enter into an agreement to stay with Prime Care for the next 3 years.
Is your motion bringing this resolution to the floor? Supervisor McGowan,
I'll second that.
seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion? Supervisor Bramer.
Thanks, Sheriff, for bringing this to us before the very end of the year and when the contract expires. I think that's really helpful to us so that we have a little bit of time. The one thing I'm concerned about not seeing is the other, the other quote, the other options. You're telling me the matrix is less, and I certainly respect that. I guess I don't have anything else to go on, so it just worries me because I know this has been, not this particular company, but this contract is a very large sum of money, and it's a really important service that we're providing to people in the jail.
We had our meetings with the other two providers. The meetings were several weeks ago. The one agreement with the matrix and the proposals we got last Wednesday. The other we got just at the end of the day last Friday. I would have provided them had we gotten them sooner. I can provide those to the group. If you want to wait, we can wait. We still have time throughout the year. But when you look at it, you're looking at a number of hours of service. And knowing my connection with their president, anytime we had an issue, we worked with them through COVID. They were very responsive. If we wanted to hold a meeting, they're in Pennsylvania, I would call. And if it weren't the next day, by the second day, the president would be here and we'd have a meeting with him. We're very comfortable. We have a good working relationship. If there's something that I'm not happy with, our corrections administration's not happy with, we share that with them and they address it. Putting numbers in a Excel spreadsheet on a piece of paper that is similar to one another is one thing, but actually having a relationship and knowing the medical providers that we receive, I would be very reluctant, even if it was considerably less, to want to jump into, a relationship with a new contractor. We like I said, we're comfortable with this group. They provide a good service and they represent our county well.
Supervisor McGowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sheriff, thank you. I've been through the last, couple of years. I've been through this and with the sheriff of this type of service, and it is big and complicated. I am comfortable with your recommendation and your explanation, because in the past I know there's been some differences, and I'm sure there's not a huge difference, but usually what I found out, sometimes with some of the other services are kicked out, we have to get added service onto it. So what are we actually saving? But having the comfortability and a relationship to me is also very important. But having to watch the taxpayers' dollars is due. But I'll go with your record because I know how big and difficult this can be. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Chairman,
Yes.
do you mind me? I'm not on your committee.
Oh, no, sure, speak.
Thank you. Quick question, is 3% annual increase pretty typical?
Is it difficult? How?
Is it typical?
I would think so. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with it. There was an increase from 2020 to 2021 with Prime Care. Every one of the vendors that provided us with a proposal had an increase, and it was consistent right around 3%. And just to share the numbers for you, Prime Care came in at $1,640,351 for 2022. CFG was $1,937,749 for 2022. CBH Medical was $1,583,052. So it was just under $100,000 less per year. but Prime Care is providing hours per week 502 and CBH is 426. So I think if they came up to the 502, I think it'd be safe to say they'd be pretty close, if not to exceeding the quote and the proposal for Prime Care Medical.
Thank you.
Any other questions? As the sheriff did mention that this is something that doesn't need to be decided today, would it be the pleasure of the committee to want to see some backup documentation going forward? We can take this up at the next meeting and use this as a discussion purpose. If that's what the pleasure of the committee would like to do.
Mr. Chairman, I just think we should act on it today.
Okay.
He's done his research, he's presented it to us. I don't need all those facts and figures in front of me. That's kind of what his job is, and I think we kind of need to listen to what.
Okay,
I concur.
all right, okay. Is there, go ahead.
I don't mind taking the vote today. I would ask that the sheriff do send it out to the committee, just so
Sure.
we have it and we can look at it prior to the full board meeting. But
I will scan all three today and then send it out to the Board of Supervisors as a group if that's
Great,
okay.
thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Is there a motion to bring this resolution to the floor?
There was one made.
Oh, it was already done?
Yep.
And seconded? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 8 is a request to receive a grant award from the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. It's $1,250, and that supports our child passenger safety seat grant program.
Motion bring this resolution to the floor. Motion put forward by Supervisor McGowan
I'll
and
second the motion.
seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 9 is a request just to remove one person from the Warren County Traffic Safety Board and add another to keep the number of the board the same. We're removing Chairwoman Rachel Sieber and adding County Administrator's Office Director of Public Affairs Don Lehmann. His term would be commencing January 1st of this year, so backdated through December 31st of 2022.
There's a motion to bring this resolution to the floor.
So moved.
Supervisor Shepler.
I'll second the motion.
Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion?
Chairman.
Yes. Oh, Chairwoman Supervisor.
Thank you.
Sieber.
Sheriff, I wasn't aware there was going to be a change with this. Last I knew, I spoke with the undersheriff about the traffic safety board. And, you know, it wasn't anything that I was aware there was a change with it. In fact, after what I learned last year with the budget with the traffic safety board, it would be, I thought, a good learning experience. I didn't know I was being put on it. Once I found out I was being put on it, I had inquired about it, but I didn't know, was there a request made to replace?
The request for this resolution came from the undersheriff to me. He indicated that you wanted to be removed from it and we wanted to have a replacement member. So if that's not your intention or interest, then I'll just remove this resolution.
I think that was a miscommunication, but I haven't heard anything back from him since the dialogue I had inquiring about the traffic safety board, how often it meets, and just more information. I think it would be good before people are placed on boards to just have a brief conversation with them about what it means, and, you know, in the aspect of if there's a time commitment or whatever the case might be, these ancillary boards. I think he had just said in the past the chair sat on this. And if that's the case, that's fine. But yeah, I didn't know there was, and our county administrator, I know, is incredibly busy unless he's so inclined to sit on it and want to participate. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes, Ryan, if this is something you want to do.
I did talk to Don
Or
when I
Don.
saw this on the agenda, and he said he was willing to do it.
Okay. That's fine by me then. First I'm hearing about it.
This is a board that we're required to have 10 people. We can have as many as we wish. This is something that the undersheriff researched. It was my impression that he spoke with everyone prior to us having these resolution requests. If that's not the case, you know, I think it's probably best just to pull this resolution request for this month and have some more communications about it before we have our first meeting and go from there.
I'm sorry, may I ask another question?
Sure.
When is the first traffic safety board meeting?
That's for us to decide. There isn't a schedule. There isn't a quarterly requirement. We just meet. I know that he's been preparing to have a meeting, but we're coming into a really busy month in September. And I know his intent was to do something following the month of September.
Supervisor Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman. I don't know if a motion has already been made, but rather than remove an individual, since we're not capped at 10 individuals to serve on that board, why don't, I would suggest that maybe we vote to add Mr. Lehmann to the board and add later in the time if the chairwoman decides, she doesn't want to continue with that, that would be her option. So I would, if I can make a motion to, or ask one of my colleagues to make a motion to just vote on Mr. Lehmann and as the 11th member of the committee.
Is there a motion to add Mr. Lehmann to his 11th member of the committee? Supervisor Shepler put forward, seconded by Supervisor Bramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 10 is simply a request to renew the approval, the notice of intent to fill for the part-time stop DWI program coordinator. The undersheriff has been doing his interviews. We are prepared now to start with the program. He's made a selection, but the notice of intent to fill has expired.
Is there a motion to bring this to the floor? Supervisor McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 11 is very similar. We've had a patrol sergeant's vacancy in our staffing for well over a year. This is a patrol sergeant that we're confident at this point will be retiring sometime in the middle of September, early October at the latest. And the notice of intent to fill was requested. And again, this is going to expire mid-September. I just would like to have this notice of intent renewed if possible, so that as soon as the vacancy occurs, we can fill the spot.
Motion to bring this resolution to the floor. Supervisor McGowan, seconded by Supervisor Shepler. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, 12.
Item number 12 is a request to extend our agreement with Niemer Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Queensbury. We have some Dodge Chargers and Jeeps that require warranty and recall work, proprietary repairs. This is an agreement that went through purchasing. We're just looking to renew our agreement with them.
Motion to bring this resolution to the floor. Motion put forward by McGowan, Supervisor McGowan, and second by Supervisor Shepler. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Any discussion items?
It added one discussion item just because we haven't spoke about it in a while. Our inmate population this morning is 88. Of those 88 inmates, 8 are federal inmates that are board in. It seems to be a pretty stable population for us at this point. I have a feeling now we're going to run between 70 and a little over 100 consistently. I know that going through the bail reform discovery and all of the criminal justice reforms, we all had some concerns as to which direction our population would go, and it seems to have planed out. Yes.
Would you remind me how many, what the capacity of the jail is?
186.
186.
For us, around 120 is a comfortable number. And again, to touch on it, our staffing isn't necessarily on the number of physical inmates in our facility. It's the positions required to supervise them.
Right, it's the posts.
Exactly.
Supervisor Garrett, you have a question?
Well, that was my question. Has Commission on Corrections looked at the reduced number of personnel?
They're not going to come around and do another staffing analysis, but we're hearing guidance through the Commission of Corrections and the New York State Sheriff's Association that they may be starting to offer some latitude back to the counties to do a review and to get feedback and to make some determinations and kind of slide that scale a little bit. I will say in our correctional facility right now, if any of you know any of our corrections officers, they're struggling. They are working a lot. They're getting stuck a lot. We have officers who are out with injury, extended injuries, and it hurts. We've got still a retention problem. We just last week reached full staffing, and within a day we lost an officer, so we're down another officer. We're just, it's a tough job, and I don't know what we can do to entice, recruit more people to take our exams. And when they take the exams and come in and start working in corrections, what we can do to keep them. We're trying everything. When somebody makes a decision to leave the correctional facility, we engage them in conversation, try to figure out, what we could do different, why they want to leave. And many, a big thing right now is they're tired of getting stuck, especially going through the summer. They're working a lot. And we try to, the State Commission of Corrections tells us we have a fixed number of posts that we have to man. That's a monthly average. So our administration will do a little bit to slide that. We don't want to drop below that monthly average. We'd be in violation, but we do drop it occasionally here and there. I had discussions with you in the past about handicap transport vans, handicap accessibility. Over the past couple of weeks, we had an inmate that was in Glens Falls Hospital that was not ambulatory at all. It was a subject that was arrested in Glens Falls with 2 broken ankles that could not even leave the hospital. So for 24 hours, 7 days a week, until the inmate was transported to our facility, there were 2 officers around the clock providing security. We had another one that came in last week that had a broken hip. Again, not ambulatory. We had to use Empire Medical, their transport service, to get the inmate into our facility. But all of these hardships create extra work and more responsibilities for our staff.
Yeah, nice. Who's the chair to this committee?
Jack.
Jack?
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So there's no adjusting to the staffing by shift. It's certain, you have to have certain posts without giving up security over there. And you just have people that don't.
Yes.
That was always our concern over a year ago with the scale reform, where they're gonna, and there's not been any relaxing on the staffing for the correctional.
Nothing. And I look at it, I look at all of our housing units and I try to figure out, if we've got a housing unit with 8 inmates, what could we do with those 8 inmates to put them in another location, even if that would be 1 officer per shift, 3 shifts. And because of the classification, maximum, medium, keep separates, male, female, we have inmates coming in, they have to go into housing unit Bravo to be on isolation with COVID protocols. So everyone coming in goes into Bravo. You're not going to close down Bravo. Delta is our max inmates. Alpha is our female inmates. And Charlie's where we have, our keep separates and other inmates that can't be with the inmates in Delta. So we've been looking at it, trying to figure out ways. I would say to you, if any of us are having thoughts in the future, if that latitude comes back to the county before we jumped and made any, even having thoughts about reducing our staffing, please let us come to the table and have a conversation with you.
I'm not saying to reduce it, but it would be nice if you could give your correctional officers a break.
Yes, it would.
And not because of
Not today, but we're hopeful.
Do you have certain labor rules on how many shifts you can work them?
Yeah, I'm sure under the Fair Standards Labor, I'm gonna say somebody help me. Fair Labor Standards Act, that you can, I know they have to have a certain rest period between shifts. We don't work any more than, 2 shifts straight. And, we're trying to do as best we can to afford them some time off, to still be mindful of our overtime budget as well. It's been a real challenge.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Supervisor Leggett, did you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. For the sheriff here, the federal inmates, I think it's increased a lot. Did I see it right on the budget that there's a lot of revenues?
We are well above, and I look at that. We have a really healthy relationship with the U.S. Marshals, the district director. We work with him quite well. He just had an inmate that was in another facility that the facility did not want to retain. They wanted him out, and called up to our captain, and our captain spoke with me, and we had a conversation, and we take them. And with that, it's a give and take. So if we do some work and favors for them, they do the same for us. The federal inmates that we have right now, if we reach a point where they're on a one-on-one, they become a disciplinary problem. If they are costing us money, they do not stay in the Warren County Correctional Facility. We have them in there for revenue. So we keep an eye on that, but we do it today. We have a really healthy relationship with them. Yes, definitely.
Any other questions for the sheriff on this particular topic?
Chairman, I do. I have a question. As personnel chair, I am aware of 1 or 2 specific personnel issues that kind of relate to being able to fill the staffing. And it may be appropriate to ask you and have you answer in executive session about individual situations. So if the chair doesn't mind, I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
You put the motion, is there a second? Seconded by Supervisor McGowan. And the motion is all in favor to go into executive session.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll go into executive session.